Hi friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started.
Hey book besties, and welcome back to Bookish Bliss for episode 77. We have a lot to discuss today.
We are continuing our journey through Sarah J. Maas's Heir, and this week it's all about chapters 36 to 45. So you don't have to read the entire book, but you do have to be caught up on the chapters we're covering because we are going full spoiler mode. Amanda, darling, what are you drinking tonight?
I don't have any more salsa tonight, so I filled my jug with some grape electrolytes. Just like Kool-Aid bomb. I have a packet right here. It's called Ultima Replenisher. It literally tastes like grape Kool-Aid. My shit.
I love that.
Yeah. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, darling, I ran out of cans of ginger lime mule, and I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I was thinking like, oh, I have to carry this bag up the stairs. I have my work bag I have to carry up. Like, do I also want to carry the box of ginger lime mule? No, I don't, because I don't have enough hands for that. So I got one of these.
I actually get those at lunch, but I feel like they're not as good.
It's not as good.
Yeah.
It's not as good, but we're making do with my laziness. And that's what we have to drink tonight.
Hey.
It's in a bottle.
Very good, darling.
Cheers to episode 77 of Bookish Bliss and part 4 of Heir.
Woo,
cheers.
Cheers.
It's like a huge jug.
Delicious. I can't.
I was like pouring it into a cup before, but I didn't want to.
We both have giant cups tonight.
I know, we're both like...
I've literally been obsessed with these. I'm going to get so sick of them and never want it again, but whatever. That's who I am.
That's who I am. Bookish news.
Bookish news. We had a really fun book club meeting this weekend about Shield of Sparrows.
We had so much fun during our Discord book club meeting on Shield of Sparrows. I'm just glad everyone was on the same page and loved the book just as much as I did.
Literally.
Thank God, because I couldn't handle the rejection otherwise. I would have been like, I'm leaving. Actually, this is our podcast. You leave.
You leave.
I'm just kidding.
Everybody liked it. It was good.
Yeah. And we will announce our new book.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode. So you have to stay tuned to find out what it is.
Indeed, you must. No skipping allowed.
What else are you reading right now, darling?
Right now? Oh my God. Actually, I'm reading Glow, the fourth of the Plated Prisoner, and I brought it to show you before we started recording how big it was, but I forgot.
Oh my God.
Is this the size of my head?
It is the size of your head.
It's huge.
That reminds me of like Fairytale. Yeah. I think actually that might be bigger than Fairytale.
Oh my gosh, look at us in our big books. It is bigger.
It is bigger.
This is only the fourth book. It's not even the last one.
That's crazy.
Really good so far.
Is it tiny writing?
It's like not that bad on the pages. I don't know if you can see.
This is tiny.
Let's see. No. This is easy. Easy to flip. But yeah, so I'm reading Glow. And I just started Twisted, which is the fourth book of Emily McIntyre's Never After series on Audible.
Yes.
What are you reading / listening to?
Darling, I am reading. What am I reading? So just finished The Summer Storms, which did you.
That too, yep.
For our in-person book club. I am reading, obviously, Heir, and so are you. We are reading Crescent City, and that's the same. Yep. I thought our listeners should know what we're reading. And then I'm reading A Play Along by Liz Tomford. It's the fourth book in the Windy City series. It's like sports romance, but I'm obsessed.
Love a sports romance.
I read the first one, Mile High, I think last year or the year before. Like, it's been a while. And then I was like, I need something really lighthearted and some spice and some laughs. And so I picked up that series and I'm like obsessed. This is the third one that I'm reading in that series this month alone.
Wow.
So I'm reading that. And then I started listening to, is it called Zom Romcom
Zom
by
rom-com?
Olivia Dade. They're living in a time of a zombie apocalypse, and her neighbor is a vampire, and they're
Oh.
in this lockdown together at the moment. So I don't really know what's going to happen,
That
but
sounds good.
I've read Olivia Dade before. She writes plus size romances,
Oh,
and I
yep.
just love the representation of some
Yes.
plus size
Hell
queens.
yeah.
And then, of course, we know that I've God of the Woods always just in the back of my mind. I think I might DNF it, unfortunately, which I'm reading for our Sisterhood of the Traveling Books where we're annotating them.
And I get it next.
And
Lucky me.
Amanda gets an X, but she might like it. Amy
I
and
could. I
Christina
could.
both read it and
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I just, for some reason, I look at it and I'm like, no, to the point where I just got Quicksilver again from Christina. I've read Quicksilver, but it's a part of our rotation that I've already started reading and annotating that over reading
Over.
God of the Woods. So I think I just need to at least pass God of the Woods to you. You can read it,
And then I'll
and
pass.
then maybe I'll take it again. But if not, I'm so sorry, Christina, that I could not finish your book. I can't force myself. It's been months. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
No.
So I'll have to give it to you when I see you next.
Friday?
Oh yeah, Friday.
Because we're going to all do the sweat spa.
I know. There's so many of us going. I'm so
I
excited.
know. Wait, actually, I wanted to ask you too. Have you ever heard of the Mindfuck series?
Okay, yes, I have heard of it and I want to read it so bad. I just have never bought the series, but it is a series that I do want to read.
This girl that I work with, Brianna, she was telling me about it today, and she's like, "You have to read it if you read Smut." I was telling her about the Emily McIntyre ones because I just finished Wretched too, and it was really good.
Well, I feel like the premise of Wretched reminds me a little bit of the Mindfuck
Yeah, which is
series.
I think what made her think of it because I was telling her about it, and she was like, "You need to read this series." And now I'm like, I wonder if Megan knows about this. She's never told me.
Yeah, well, I've never read it, but I have heard about it, and it's been on my list for I think years at this point. Like right when I started reading heavily again, it was all over Book Talk at the time,
Yeah,
and I don't know, like there
we'll
was
have to
just
put it
so
on our
many books
list.
that I needed
I
to
know.
read
Yeah.
that I put ACOTAR and Throne of Glass and all those books like ahead of,
Yeah.
a lot of these dark romances that I am interested in. I just
Yeah.
haven't read yet.
Brianna is not a fantasy girl, but I got her to try ACOTAR. She literally is just starting it
Oh my
this week. So,
God.
yeah, when I know
This
I
is
the
how
shit
it
out of her. I
starts. This
know.
is how it starts.
I'm so excited. I'm like, what page you on? What page you on?
What do you think about Tamlin? Like, what do you think
Yeah,
about
I
this?
can't
Oh my
wait.
God. It's so great when you get to watch. Now you're like me. You get to
Hmm.
like watch someone read it for the first time.
Yeah. And she's not fantasy at all. Like, she does not read fantasy. So, it's even better.
Yeah.
I'm like, woo.
Woo! Oh, also, just before we start,
Hmm.
Rebecca Yarros announced that she was doing this night out with the Colorado Avalanche, and my cousin Maggie handles their social media there, and she was going to try to get me a ticket. It sold out in
I
seconds.
actually saw that it was sold out. I was going to ask you if she ended up getting you any.
No, not at the moment, but she's still gonna try to see. But anyways, I don't think it's gonna happen. I said no worries. Like people are obsessed with her, and it crashed their site
Holy
multiple
shit.
times. Like I think it sold out like almost instantly once the site was like back up and running. So we'll see if she can work any internal magic, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. But
I'll pray for you.
manifesting.
Yes.
So you get to like meet her, and I think you get a jersey for Fourth Wing. I think there's like a special edition copy of Fourth Wing. I would
Oh.
pee myself, obviously, if I met Rebecca Garros. I would feel
Yeah.
terrible that you wouldn't be by my
I
side if this
know. My
happens.
friend's getting married. I'm in the wedding in the Dominican Republic.
But I feel like that's why it's not happening so easily, is because you're not going to be there. And I feel like if I meet Rebecca Yarros, you also have to meet Rebecca
Yeah,
Yarros
we
at the
have
same
to do it
time.
together. We have to.
Yeah,
Let's go
but we'll
stalk
see.
our house. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if I go, I will be obviously ecstatic. Keeping
Okay.
my fingers crossed, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, I would still love for you to meet her. So I'm
Yeah,
praying for you.
thank you.
All right. Now let's get started with the good stuff and break down Heir of Fire, Part 4. We are starting with you tonight, darling.
All right, here we go. Chapter 36. Adian and Ren were discussing Adian's upcoming meeting with Kale. Ren and Murtaugh had been staying at Selena's apartment, and Adian wished that Ren had told him that they had been living with no real home, but Ren doesn't seem to think that this matters. All he cares about is that if Adian finds a way to break the curse on magic, that he'll do it. Adian will. He thinks it will help in the upcoming battles, even though Ren reminds him that it didn't do much to help them 10 years ago. Ren doesn't have much power, but his sisters did, and they were no match against 10,000 soldiers. Ren thinks it will be hard to go back to Terrasen. He's not sure he's civilized enough to be a lord to their people. Adian says it will be weird for him too. His life for the past few years and the years to come will all be about war, but it will be a strange transition for all when there is peace again. Ren wants to know if Adian will take care of Kale when he is no longer useful to them, and Adian will decide when the time comes. Ren asks what Aelin would think of the way Adian operates, and he tells Ren that if she's smart, then she will use him for whatever needs to be done. He will be anything she wants him to be. Ren asks even if she wants Adian to be her king. Does he want to be king? All Adian wants is for his people to be free and his queen restored to her throne. But if she asked, he would not refuse her. Adian just wants to see Aelin again, and the rest is none of Ren's concern. Kale and Adian were in a packed tavern with soldiers on rotation who were currently home in Adarlan. Adian is drinking with them, drinking their ale, not being a snobby noble drinking wine. He remembered their names, facts about them, about their family, and he made them believe he would fight and die for them, even though he hated them. Kale was nervous for when Adian and Aelin were reunited, afraid of what they would do to his kingdom. Kale was working for Dorian, not Aelin and not Adian, so he didn't really know where his place was in all of this. Adian came up with a contest to try to get some information out of the soldiers. Whoever traveled the farthest got to drink for free. There was a general who had spent 5 years in Knoll, and that's who they pulled to have a chat. His name was Commander Jensen of the 24th Legion. He had 2,000 men under his command, and they were all brought back last month with no real explanation. He wasn't even told who was taking their place. He said in Knoll, the volcanoes are active and it's always dark. The men got headaches and went mad from the fumes. Kale remembered Selena claimed that Kaltane and Roland complained about headaches because of the king's dark magic being used against them. The locals would never help them, no matter how much they bribed or threatened them, and Knoll was basically just a tower in the village they built around it. They were never allowed in the tower, and it had no doors. It was made of black stone. There was also one in Amaroth. 3 towers of black stone with one here in Rifthold. They knew it had to be a part of the spell. They wanted to test the theory on a small scale, which meant Kale needed Dorian.
The duo is back together.
Dun, dun, dun. So interesting to go back to the beginning of this chapter where Ren and Adian are plotting what will happen once Aelin is back / magic is freed. But I forgot that there was this talk about Adian being Aelin's king because I'm like, oh, well, they're cousins.
Yeah.
That's so weird. And I don't know if it's in my chapter and one maybe you talk about where it's basically said that they're so distantly related that there's like not enough blood to make it weird. But to me,
Oh, so you're thinking romantic.
well, I don't think romantic wise, but yeah, I think like it was
Like
said
they
like
would be married.
they would be married. And I don't know.
Oh.
I think it would just be for like power because he's an Ash River.
See,
And
I
it would,
was thinking like she wouldn't want to be queen and she would step down and let him be king.
oh no, because I think it's her when she's telling Rowan, or I think it's like when she's talking to Rowan about Adian, when she tells him about it, she says like she heard rumors or heard people talking when they were little, like that they would be matched together.
Oh, that would be weird. Your
So
cousin?
weird. I mean,
Ugh,
it's royal
I
nonsense.
know.
But they point out the line is so distantly removed, even though they are technically cousins and look very similar.
Yeah, I'm like, how far removed can you be if you have the same eyes
And hair.
and hair and yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't seem to have any sort of romantic feelings towards Aelin. He's just like, I'll be whoever she needs me to be because the only thing that matters at the end of the day is freeing our people and getting her back on the
Yeah,
throne.
I mean,
But
the
if
last time he saw her, she was a child, so how could he have romantic feelings for
right,
her?
yeah. I mean, they were both children the
Yeah,
last time they were with each other. But yeah,
yeah,
I think he's like, I think at the end of the day, if that's the role she needs me to play, like that's the role I'll play. But that's kind of where it ends. And this is none of your business.
yeah.
So
Interesting.
weird, but
Hmm.
interesting. Speaking of knowing their place, Kale does not know his place. I think he's more lost than ever.
Yeah,
And we see that kind of play throughout this whole section of him being like, I'm just on Dorian's side. I'm just on Dorian's side. I'm not on Aelin's side. I'm not on your side. What do you stand for? And he
yeah,
really just doesn't know because at the end of the day, like you're not just on Dorian's side, you're on a Darlin's side to a degree, but also you're fighting against the king. So you can't be in the middle.
yeah,
And I think we're going to see him just like get yelled at by multiple people throughout this section. But right here, he's like, I don't really know where my place is in all of this. But whatever
yeah.
he's doing at the moment feels right. So he's just going to continue, I guess, on this path.
I was gonna say, I feel like he probably is very confused because his whole life he was so like sworn to a Darlin, and he knows that the king is corrupt now. But I
Yeah.
feel like he also might just be in the middle because he wants to protect, at the end of the day, his people.
I feel like there is no middle. There's one side and there's another. There's no like gray to this.
Yeah.
And he is clearly helping rebels at the moment. So
Well, yeah,
he's
of
clearly
course.
picked a side. He's
Yeah.
just not admitting it to
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah. He's scared.
Yes,
And Darlin's always ever known, little
true.
Kale.
At the end, we get to talk to a man from Knoll. His men would go mad, bashing their own heads in with just like the icky power. Well, they think it's just the fumes from the volcano, but we know is coming from the tower. And
Hmm.
we know there's three of them in a triangle spread throughout the continent. And we know now that this is part of the spell.
Yeah. It for sure is. We
Yeah.
need to knock the towers down.
Knock them down. So we're going to do a little test, which we didn't see the test yet in
Oh,
this section, but Kale's planning to test this out with Dorian to see what this all means with these black stone towers.
indeed, darling. Chapter 37. For 2 weeks, Manon and the 13 trained and ate fresh goats from the mountains, distrusting the foul-tasting, potentially magic-tainted meat from the king's men. Manon, facing her grandmother by arguing they needed rest to avoid brawling, secured 2 days off for the Blackbeaks to sleep and see to their personal needs involving the men. However, she planned to take Abraxos into the ruins. A mortal handler tried to dissuade her, but Manon was convinced that only spider silk obtained directly from the Stygian spider was as big as a horse and lethally poisonous. They left in a storm, and after a freezing, wet night of waiting, Manon woke at dawn, wrapped in Abraxos' wing, kept warm by his breath. Aww.
I
With
love
blue
him.
sky, I know, he's so cute. With blue skies the next day, they flew to the spider's lair, observing spiders of all sizes seemingly protected by their giant brethren. Manon found the Stygian spider and, recognizing a shared dark origin, called it Sister. The spider, knowing Manon was a Blackbeak, agreed to bargain for 20 yards of its silk. The spider asked if Manon had seen the waste since the Kraken curse, but Manon admitted she had not yet been home. The spider revealed that a merchant had mentioned a high king who was recently dethroned by a red-haired high queen.
You know who that is. In the waste, a red haired high queen just dethroned the king there, who was going back to the waste to reclaim her land.
Oh my god, what the fuck? I can't remember her name.
Ansel.
I know, I was like, I was the one that could say it, and I couldn't say it. Wow, it's Ansel?
Yes.
Wow, didn't know that. Okay. This queen was first on Manon's kill list when she returned to reclaim the land. The price for the spider silk was Manon's beauty, so the spider could experience the world through her eyes and touch a human man. Manon, however, insisted on inspecting the silk first. She declared it second rate with imperfections, enraging the spider. Before it could react, Abraxos' tail swung, sending the spider flying off the cliff's edge. Manon took the remaining silk, mounted Abraxos, and leaped into the air just as she had planned.
Well,
Whoa, Manon, that little shit.
she is a little shit.
I have a huge prediction that I'll talk about at the end of this episode about this Stygian spider. This chapter just like brought life back into me. I'm like,
I
yay, we're
know.
almost to the action.
I know. This whole book, we've kind of been prepping for things.
Yeah,
And now,
exactly.
once we get to the last 100 pages, like what we
Mm-hmm.
have one more
One
section,
more and
then it's the
then,
last
yeah,
100
yeah.
pages.
But I love the connection with the spider silk. The spider silk is going to
Yes.
be fixing Abraxos' wings, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know because we read the section that it does work, but how would I have guessed that in Assassin's Blade? I remember you asking me, like, what do you think the spider silk is going to be used for? How would I have known that?
It's so true.
It's crazy.
Well, it's not just like the spider silk. It's
No, yeah,
like
yeah,
everything, like with the spiders, and
yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. And I can't wait to go back to like different parts and be like, if you pay attention to this, and this, you would have known.
Yep. That's so funny. So we get talk about this red-haired high queen, Ansel. Thank you,
Ansel.
Megan, for making me remember about my favorite bitch.
Literally your favorite in Assassin's Blade, and you did something last episode or somewhere else where I'm like, it's your favorite chapter.
I know. I'm telling you, it's the brain damage.
Brain damage.
It really is true. I don't know why, but it's here and it's staying. Brain damage. If anybody has any tips for brain damage, let me know.
She needs brain camp.
Literally. But how smart is Manon, though? She literally outwitted this spider, although
She did.
I'll wait to say any more about it because my prediction's too good to waste it this early in the episode.
Chapter 38, Manon gave the spider silk to the overseer to graft it onto Abraxos' wings. She had gotten extra of it just in case it ever wore down, and no one had known what she had done because Astrid would have murdered her, and her grandmother would have murdered Astrid for not being there with Manon. Once Abraxos had healed, she brought him to the northern thing to attempt the crossing. Astrid and Sorel were behind her to catch her if Abraxos plunged to his death. They would need to save their heir. But when she tried to make Abraxos move to start the crossing, he wouldn't budge. Abraxos looked petrified, and she told him that his wings are fine now, but he still wouldn't go. Astrid tries to tell her that Abraxos can't understand her, but he totally can.
Mm-hmm.
Iskra is making fun of them and goes so far as to whip Abraxos when Manon tells the overseer to put Abraxos away until he is willing to make the crossing. Iskra whips Abraxos and Manon sees red. She attacks Iskra and beats her to a pulp until her third shows her that Abraxos is okay.
Good.
Iskra got another beating from her mother for what she had done, and when Manon went to visit Abraxos, Petra, the blue blood heir, was there just getting back from a flight with her mount. Petra said that her wyvern wanted to give Abraxos this goat leg. They heard that the 13 in their mounts were only eating fresh food now. Petra also alludes to the wyverns being able to speak to them, and Manon confirms nothing, and she also throws away the goat leg.
She's like, no, thank you.
So Abraxos is scared, which makes me so sad, even though his wings are healed and he's basically put all back together with the iron that Manon has put on him and this spider silk that is grafted into his wings. Mm-hmm. But he is not ready, and it just makes me so sad how he's like, no, I don't want to do this. He's a lover, not a fighter.
I know, poor thing. Well, he was literally abused. Used and abused.
I know. And Manon's like, you useless, cowardly beast. I'm like, leave him alone.
I know, but she gets fucking Iskra for whipping him, so she loves him.
Yeah, she's like, only
kind of guy.
Well, because she wouldn't even let the overseer whip Abraxos. She's like, I will handle Abraxos in the way that I see fit. He is my mount, and no one is to touch him. Like, she's not even gonna whip him, just based on like how she handles him. But yeah, Iskra's a little fucking shit.
Yeah,
and she gets punished for it.
I hope she gets tortured so bad before she dies because I hate her.
Amanda hates her. But also interesting, Petra's an interesting one.
I
I feel like the Blue
know.
Bloods are very like mysterious.
Mm-hmm. She's like
And
trying to be friends with Manon.
I don't know if she wants to be friends, but she does allude to them being on the same side now, that they're supposed to be working together. She says that her mount, her wyvern, wanted to give Abraxos this goat leg because they talked to, like, her wyvern talked to her and told her that.
Yeah.
But obviously, we know Manon and Abraxos can communicate with each other, and this kind of confirms that it's real, and
Yeah.
that Petra can also talk to her wyvern. But Manon's like, I am not either confirming or denying that I can also do this, and I also don't trust the leg that you're giving me, so she
Yeah.
throws it away.
Did she say that to try and get information out of her, or do they actually talk?
I think Petra, I don't know, for some reason, I can't really remember, but and like how her storyline goes. But
Yeah.
it seems that, she has been an ally throughout all the stages of them being here in the
Mm-hmm.
Omega. So I don't know. I guess we'll have
Yeah.
to wait and find out.
I know, but like an ally for what? Like, do they want to go against the Yellow Legs, or do they just want to be one clan working for the king?
I don't think they want to be one clan. I don't think the Blue Bloods want to be one clan, but I think they know that Iskra is a problem, and I think
Mm.
it's better to team up against her for now,
Yeah.
um,
She's ruthless for
than
sure.
be enemies towards each other too.
Yeah. They have enough problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. Chapter 39. While Selena touches up Rowan's tattoos after burning his arms, they bond over a series of questions. Rowan reveals he learned to tattoo from a commander in the war camps who etched every battle and kill onto his skin. He also shares that his parents were a very old fae and died when he was in his 20s. He had no siblings but was surrounded by annoying cousins. Selena is reminded of her own cousin, Adian, who is now a general in the king's army. She feels she can never face him, believing his hatred would be far worse than Rowan's if he knew what she had endured. When Rowan asks if Adian would kill or help her, she admits she doesn't know and doesn't want to find out, as his true loyalties are a mystery. She tells Rowan that she has no desire to be queen, seeing as it's just another form of shackles, and that's all she truly wants is to be free. When Rowan asks why she stayed with Arabin, she confesses it was to hide from her enemies, the world, and most of all, herself. She believed that leaving him would lead to her death, either at the hands of the king's men or by a rebellious group that would turn her over to him. After their conversation, they agreed to establish clear boundaries for their partnership, deciding to take their time and let their new dynamic evolve on its own terms. The bonding in this chapter.
I know. I love at the end when he's like, I don't know what this is either. I'm still
Yeah,
figuring it out, but like,
yeah.
let's just
Yeah,
take
he's like,
things
friend.
slow.
I'm not your friend. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, jeez.
Well, they're not friends,
Slice me. That was like a paper cut slice.
but they're definitely something.
Yeah, they're definitely something. We learn why Rowan does this whole tattoo thing, which is so crazy because it's actually something that one of the guys does in Wretched
Mm.
or Twisted. I can't remember which one. But I was like, oh.
No, Scarred. Doesn't he tattoo himself?
Oh, I don't know. It might be Scar too. I don't fucking remember that book. I barely remembered it when you were telling me after I read it. Clearly not the good one of the series. But yeah, so I just think it's funny how many people actually put this in books. But Rowan reveals this to her. So he's sharing some stuff about his parents, how they were young and died when he was in his 20s. He has no siblings. I laughed so hard when I read that he has so many annoying cousins. He can't stand any of them.
I know that is really
Hilarious.
funny.
How sad is it that Selena thinks Adian literally would hate her after everything she's endured? Even though he knows, which is crazy that he knows basically everything.
I know, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah. But he still like loves the shit out of her. I feel like
Mm.
nobody has shown any love towards her as like a family way more than him
Yeah,
so far.
for sure.
She's confused where his true loyalties are, just like I was when I first met Adian.
That's true. That is very true. And I'm like, no.
How about how this is why I was thinking when you said that Adian would be her king, why I was thinking she would step down and let him have it, because she says here that being queen would just be another form of shackles. And she just truly wants to be free. Like, that's literally the only thing she wants.
Well, that's too damn bad.
Okay, Grandpa from Moles.
Mhm.
She's even sharing more about Arabin with Rowan, saying like she was with him for so long because she was hiding from the world and herself. Like, she didn't want to be Aelin. She wanted nobody to know who she was. So they're clearly both going through some shit. And they
Mhm.
decide we're going to figure this out one day at a time and have each other's backs.
Yep.
Yep.
Chapter 40. Dorian and Sorsha are having a quiet morning in bed together before they both have to return to their obligations and duties. Ever
Mm.
since their kiss 2 weeks ago, she has been spending every night in his bed, but only kissing has occurred.
Ooh.
Sorsha wished that one morning she wouldn't need to rush out of his room at the morning light. After she left, Cale came to Dorian's room to talk to him. Dorian scolds Cale for not being able to accept change, that he cannot control who Selena slash Aelin truly is, as Dorian cannot change the fact that he has magic. It cannot go back to the way things were before, even though Cale orchestrated some of it. Dorian tells Cale that he cannot pick and choose which parts of Selena he's going to choose to love. He needs to decide if he will be Aelin's friend or her enemy. Dorian knows which side he is going to pick. She never balked at Dorian's magic, and she told him she would return for him, and he hopes that Cale's decision is the same as his.
Wow.
Aiden commended Cale's control, even though he noticed a difference in him this evening after nights of observing his behaviors. Aiden, Cale, and Ren were waiting for Murtaugh to return to their apartment after spending a few weeks near Skulls Bay. When Murtaugh returned, he looked bad, and he came with equally awful news. Captain Narok, who had taken over the Dead Islands from the Pirate Lord, had now left, but Rolf claimed that there were creatures being made on the island, and those who went east of the Dead Islands did not return. That Narok took some of these creatures with him. These men, who are not really men, with black collars around their neck. He could sometimes hear them roaring. Narok took them and was currently sailing to Wendlin to launch an attack. Word would never reach them in time, and Rolf would not assist, and Adian wasn't sure he cared all that much because, as far as he was concerned, they never came to help Terrason when they burned 10 years ago, so why would they help Wendlin now? Adian also got into Cale's face about not being able to pick a side. He couldn't stay neutral. He wasn't doing this for losing innocent lives in a Darlin, but for whatever dream Cale was still holding on to. Dorian had moved on, so had Aelin, and he was still stuck in the past, and Adian tells Cale that this will cost him in the end. Cale left the apartment, and the next morning he went to the king to tell him he would be returning to Aniel.
Wow.
Well, I love that line, and it's such a big line in this series of Dorian saying to Cale, "You cannot pick and choose." It's not the biggest quote in the Throne of Glass series, but it is one that
Yeah.
is big in the series, is that you cannot pick and choose which parts of her that you love. And it's so
Yeah.
true because Cale has done that since day one of which
Mm-hmm.
parts of Aelin, Selena, Lily, and
Yeah.
whoever she's being of who he loves or who he wants her to be, not who she truly is.
Yeah.
And Dorian's had it. He's had it. He's yelling at him. Adian's yelling at him in this chapter. But what I really want to talk about, besides Cale being indecisive, is this Captain Narok who had taken over the Pirate Lord Rolf's islands in Skulls Bay for a hot minute. But
Mm-hmm.
now the Pirate Lord, our favorite Pirate Lord, has his land back, and he's not going to leave it anytime soon to go help out anybody. But
No.
he did witness a man who is not really a man staring at them as they were coming back into Skulls Bay. And this person had a black collar around their neck, which obviously we know that's what we were seeing in Wendlin with
Yeah.
Aelin and Rowan, with these dead demi-fae coming up and who she saw in the Glen. So it's just interesting that now we're getting some more information about this.
Yeah. I know.
Crazy, crazy. So
Indeed.
now we think that a whole ship of them are now sailing over to Wendlin, and
Mm-hmm.
which begs the question on how did this one that is there, is that part of the ship that was already sailing over there? Which doesn't make sense because she's been there for a bit and these murders were already occurring. So how
Yeah.
did that one get there? Or do you think
I
by
don't
the
know.
time information got to Murtaugh and then he came back, like I guess that is like weeks of time, and who
True.
knows when the captain actually left.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be that they're there already deploying
Crazy.
these monsters in Wendlin.
Wild. And so I can't believe Selena figures this out too.
It takes her a second.
It does, but it's crazy when she
Yeah.
does.
So we're getting to the good stuff.
We are. We're getting to the good stuff, honey. Chapter 41. For 2 weeks, Selena fell into a routine. She worked as a scullery maid in the mornings and evenings, and from late morning until dinner, she delved into the seemingly bottomless well of her magic with Rowan. She found the small tasks, like lighting candles and weaving flames between her fingers, the most challenging. Rowan, however, consistently pushed her, always taking her to the ruins for her to practice where she couldn't accidentally burn anything down if she lost control. The magic consumed her energy, causing her to eat 2 or 3 times her usual amount. And she and Rowan continued to bond. She made him talk, listening intently as he shared stories of his life as a warrior who led men through hell and traveled to distant shores. Selena felt his grief and rage, but envied his long life. His stories fueled her hatred for Maeve, leading her to seek out more legends from Emery's at night. Emery's announced that Beltane was 2 days away and preparations for the festivities began. Selena recalled how, as a child, she would run wild through fields filled with bonfires, a night her mother had called her own. It was a time when the fire bearing girl had nothing to fear and no powers to hide, and people whispered her name, Aelin Fireheart, Aelin of the Wildfire. Whoa.
Wow.
As Demi-Faye arrived for the celebration, Selena found herself catching the eye of some males while also instinctively growling at any female who looked at Rowan. She realized she didn't have feelings for him, but had grown territorial after their time together. Hmm. Her Beltane task was to light and control 3 bonfires all night, 2 lower ones for people to jump over, and one that meant to reach the clouds. The healers were on site in case she accidentally torched someone. It's good. As her flames moved with the ancient music, she noticed her magic had been subtly changing, no longer just a blue wildfire. Ready for a food break, she was told by Rowan to hold her control just a little bit longer. A desire to dance came over her, not from joy, but from the raw connection she felt as her fire and the music pulsed against her bones. She realized the music was weaving a tapestry of light and dark, binding her to the world. She understood the word marks were a way to harness these threads, and that her own magic, fueled by her imagination and will, could create and shape. Rowan, noticing her approaching burnout, grew nervous and told her to stop, but she was beyond speech. He sought help from 2 females who told him to carry her to the water. Rowan tried to freeze the water, but it kept boiling, forcing him to repeatedly freeze it until it was only lukewarm. When she was finally responsive, Rowan explained that she needed to learn the warning signs of burnout and stop before reaching that point again. As her clothes were removed to cool her, Rowan saw the scars on her body, revealing her year as a slave in the salt mines of Endovier. He swallowed his rage. Selena noticed he had more burn marks from carrying her on his arms and chest, but he left the room pissed and didn't return. We got some magic in this chapter.
Magic.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that she can like weave the flames between her fingers. I can see how that can be the most challenging though, because it's so intricate and tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And lighting candles, she hates
She's
candles.
over it.
It's like I never want to see another candle in my life. So funny. But Rowan's pushing her, she's got to get this down. She wants access to Doranel, so we're
Mm-hmm.
here. We get a mention here of more bonding between them two, and Rowan is actually telling her stories that's making her hate Maeve,
Mm-hmm.
which we all knew she was like a shitty person already, but like, ooh, I want to know these stories. Why do you hate her so much? I want to hate her with you. She even is asking Emery's for more of his legends at night, so she's learning all she needs to know to deal with that bitch. Beltane is here, which basically I guess is just like a ton of bonfires and people going crazy jumping over the
It's like their
fire.
spring festivities.
Yeah, it's like their good luck. Like they think it's going to bring them
It's like Cal
fortune
and
and
Mai in
yeah.
Akatar.
Yeah. She has this flashback, which I thought was so sweet, to her mother, who used to say, she's Aelin Fireheart, Aelin of the Wildfire. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
her night to just be herself. You don't have to hide your powers.
Mm-hmm.
There's fire everywhere. I thought that was cute. I love that the little connections to the mom going back.
Yeah.
It's been happening a lot, I feel,
Mm-hmm.
lately. So.
Hmm.
She gets territorial of Rowan in this chapter. I'm like, I also have thoughts about this, but I'll save that for the prediction section.
Ooh, I didn't even look to see what your other prediction was. I'm not
Really?
gonna look.
I'm feeling good about this episode's predictions. So she has this task where she's got to keep these fires burning all night. 2 for people to jump over, and 1, I guess, for lighting. I don't know. It has to be super huge. Maybe just to practice her control.
To
Who
make it
knows?
light so everyone can see.
Yeah. And she notices like a change in her fire. It's not just blue anymore,
Mm-hmm.
which by the end of the section, it gets like reds and oranges and golds, but it must mean she's getting stronger, right? I would assume.
Stronger than yesterday.
Now is nothing but a mile away.
Oh, this is such a good song for her.
Oh,
Now my loneliness ain't
literally.
killing me no more. Now
I,
I'm
I'm stronger.
stronger. Okay. How
Okay.
ridiculous.
Anyways, music is back in her life though because she is feeling this music, but not from joy. She has this raw connection to the music, which I thought was really interesting.
She like succumbed to the magic.
Yeah. She always, I feel like, goes into trances about music. Like even in
Yeah.
the theater, she used to just like chill and go in a trance. So like maybe while she's doing her magic, she just went in a trance and that's it. She was about to be burned out.
Yeah. Well, not maybe burnt out
Yeah, but
because,
just yeah, Rowan does say later that she didn't reach burnout, but she was just being overwhelmed by it. So you're
yeah.
right, you're right. But she's understanding kind of more of how the magic works and the word marks, and that there's ways to harness these threads. So
Hmm.
that could be potentially useful.
Hmm.
She knows she can create and shape her magic however she pleases when she is able to do it.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, she's about to be a boiled lobster in a pool of water because she cannot cool down. Rowan has to just keep constantly freezing the water to cool her down, which is actually crazy.
Yeah.
They like take her out because she's boiling, then they close the water, put her back in, close the water, take her out. I'm like, Jesus. But
I
when
know.
she's finally responsive, Rowan's like, you need to learn, blah, 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 blah. And she's just like, in a daze, like, yep, okay, sure.
Okay.
But they have to strip her, so he finally sees all these scars on her from
I
Endovir.
love a "Who did this to you"
Yeah,
scene.
I know.
Oh my god, my voice like broke when I did that. I can't do a
But
deep, menacing voice. Who did this to you? No, that's
Did
evil.
this to you.
He's like, Who
that
did
did
this to
sound very
you?
evil. Yeah, he was pissed. He literally left the room. He's like, I'm gonna go find them.
Yeah, literally.
What a chapter.
What a chapter. All right, chapter 42. Rowan had left the room pissed and shifted immediately into his hawk form, flying towards Dornell. Maeve had not told him that Aelin had been a slave, and neither had Aelin. She hadn't trusted him enough to tell him, and he had once threatened to whip her. He remembered her reaction, and now he knew that she didn't just react like that for no reason. There was always a deeper meaning behind it. He felt territorial and possessive, but not of her. Come on. He knew he had to turn around, though. Aelin had been so close to burning out and was currently defenseless. If he went to Maeve, she could make him not return due to his blood oath to her. He headed back to Selena at Mistward. Selena is finally dragging her body back to her room, not wanting to think about why Rowan left. She fell asleep but was awoken from laughter, but Rowan swooped into her room, changed back into his fae form, and carried her into his room with a warm fire and a comfier bed. He told her that she would be staying with him from now on, but would be in her own cot after tonight. Selena did not want his pity. That is why she didn't tell him about the scars and being a slave in Endovier.
Mm-hmm.
He asks her for the story, and she tells him everything besides the word keys and the king, leaving that for another time. They fell asleep holding hands, and her hand was still in his when she woke up the next day. She felt something molten rush through her to weld, forging her back together.
Wow.
Fuck.
Besties.
Also, I'm just so annoyed with Rowan when he's like, I feel territorial of her and possessive, but not of her.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, I feel like there's so many not romantic references in these pages between them. Because they're like getting closer, but then it's like, oh, I don't have feelings for him. And he's like, oh, well, not that kind of feelings. Like, I feel like it's supposed to like smack us in the face. Every time I read it, I'm like, she's telling me, but they're not going to be romantic. It's not romantic. Like, don't worry, it's not romantic. Like, that's how I felt reading it.
I feel like they're in denial. I'm just like not the best person to answer this question.
That's true, I guess.
I
Moving
can't
on.
I can't speculate on their relationship. All I can say is from how I'm looking at this, and I don't know if it's because of my knowledge of the rest of the book, but I think it is so you wouldn't be saying I'm territorial, I'm growling at other females, but I don't like him. Like, it's not romantic. Like, that just seems like full-blown denial to me on both
Yeah.
sides, because
Well, because she says is almost the same exact thing. She feels territorial but has no feelings.
yeah, but he carries her to his bed so that she's comfier, and their bond is growing closer, that they fall asleep holding hands. I'm sorry, me and you are best friends, but I'm not going to fall asleep holding your hand and wake up with your hand on my chest. Like, that's just not going to happen. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That's a little romantic for sure.
That is so romantic. It's so intimate.
Yeah.
And he says you're sleeping in a cot from now on, but I don't think that actually happens.
No, it doesn't.
So
But still, they're like throwing it on our face like it's just comfortable for them, but not romantic. I don't know. That's just how I felt. I'm like, okay, how many times do you have to tell me it's not romantic? Like, I get it. Unless Sarah J. Maas was in denial and she also wrote this. But
I think I'm going to shut my mouth.
before you spoil something, I'm
Yes.
scared. There's too many love interests. What happened to just one or two? Little triangle. Now we got like a fucking hexagon going on. Legit. Crazy.
It's so funny because, like, no.
Megan, there will come a time where we both have not read books on this podcast. It will happen eventually.
I just want to say so many things and I can't.
I know. Chapter 43. After her magical burnout, Selena was confined to Rowan's room by Rowan, who insisted she feast on food to recover. Rowan told her that when Fae reach this state of exhaustion, they become incredibly vulnerable. Rowan explained the concept of a Karanom, another Fae who can yield their power to a compatible partner with a blood connection. He warned that if done improperly, it could shatter both of their minds or burn them out completely. He also mentioned that this method could be used to steal magic, leading to a form of magical slavery. Rowan often had to kill these enslaved Fae to end their misery, which led Selena to explaining her experience as a slave and how they tried to break you. She had to consistently repeat her own name to remind herself of who she was at times. Rowan offered to have a skilled healer remove the scars from her time in Endovier, but she refused, wanting them as a daily reminder of her vow to free the slaves. He asked Selena what happened 10 years ago. She explained that she couldn't speak about the trauma without releasing a monster of rage inside of her, a monster she must keep contained to face the king of Adarlan. Rowan, however, believed she kept the scars because she felt she deserved to suffer for her past sins. He reassured her that if they were going to hell, they would go together, and that he had no doubt she would defeat the king and free the slaves, regardless of what name she used. A few days later, on her 19th birthday, Rowan brought her chocolates from a nearby town where he had gone to investigate another drained demi-fae body. Selena tried to hug him, but he resisted. Later, she kissed him on the cheek, suspecting he let her break through his defense, despite his attempts to appear indifferent. Back in training, Rowan declared that her magic lacked shape and control. He instructed her to channel her power into the forms of weapons and shields, leveraging her pre existing assassin skills. He hit her with ice dagger after ice dagger, urging her to form a shield. She struggled, thinking she was burnt out again, but he insisted that she simply allowed her power to consume her, and she was afraid of its true strength. Pushed to her limit, she finally harnessed her rage and successfully created a shield. From that day forward, she was determined to continue training, saying again when Rowan said that they were done for the day. After a week of relentless practice, Selena could create multiple shields of various size and temperatures, even able to encircle an entire glen to protect it from attack. One morning, she began practicing on her own near the wardstones.
Whoa.
She's getting it.
Can we talk about the beginning when people were bringing food, like Luca and Emerus were bringing food to her room? Rowan was growling at them.
I know. But I think this concept of a Karanom comes into play for a specific reason. Somebody's having a Karanom.
Well, yeah.
For sure. But I'll save that for my prediction section. To reiterate, it is another Fae who can yield their power to a compatible partner with a blood connection. Keep that in mind for later. How sad is it, though, that Rowan has to save these Faes who are basically enslaved to these Karanoms who steal their magic and just drain them until they literally are so hopeless that the best option is to kill them.
That is sad.
That's so sad.
It's really sad.
This is just like a sad chapter. Now we have Rowan talking about how a healer can remove her scars, and she's like, no, I need them so that they remind me to free the slaves and defeat the king of Adarlan. And he's like, you probably just think you deserve them for everything you've done.
This is probably true.
Yeah, that's so true. She definitely thinks she deserves to suffer.
I think two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think she would never forget her mission, though, if she had the scars or not, to free all the slaves and defeat the king, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He says something so sweet to her where he says he has no doubt that she will defeat the king and free the slaves, regardless of what name she uses, which was so
Hell
sweet.
yeah.
It was very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Her 19th birthday, that flabbergasted me. I'm like, this bitch is not 19. Maybe 1900, the amount of fucking trauma she has in her life.
I know, she's only 19.
19? Unrealistic.
Yeah.
She's a baby.
She's a baby.
Crazy. But
was in this chapter when she like tries to have Rowan set her up with one of his like friends?
Yeah.
It's like, what about your kitty cat friend?
Yeah.
He's like, well, since you'll be dying of old age soon, it's not worth it.
Yeah. So funny.
I just love that she called Gabrielle his kitty cat friend.
Yeah. She's like, hello, I need some dick.
He's like, you're not getting any dick from them.
Not my friends, he says. So we're training again. Rowan knows that her magic lacks shape and control. We know that. But he does not fucking care. He's like, you're going to make a shield, whether I kill you with an ice dagger or not. And he just keeps going.
Plain and
She's like,
simple.
stop it! He's like, no. Pew, pew, pew. I can just imagine.
And
But
he's
it
just
works.
laughing the whole time.
Yeah, she's just like, oh my god, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But she finally just like gets pissed, harnesses all her range, and fucking creates the shield. From that day forward, she was determined. She's like, I'm gonna fucking do this and I'm gonna get good at it. A week later, she can make multiple shields now of various sizes and temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
And she can fucking protect a whole entire glen in 1 week.
She's happier now.
Oh, okay.
Rowan is forging her back together.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's really the connection that's making her prosper here. I see.
Yes.
I see. Interessante. And she even is going to practice on her own. She's like, I don't train enough.
I must train some more.
I must train some more.
Okay. My last chapter of the night. Chapter 44.
Very
The
good, darling.
13 were flying as one and led the other Blackbeak clans in the skies. Abraxos even got into it with Lynn's bull for dominance and came out victorious. The war games were approaching, and even Iskra hadn't been a problem since the night Manon almost murdered her. Everything was going swell until Manon's grandmother found out that Abraxos had yet to make the crossing, and things got a bit violent with her. She told her that she was going to be queen, not high witch, and she would not ruin this. She would make the crossing with Abraxos tomorrow or die. She even sliced a nail across Manon's throat to get her point across. Everyone came the following day to see if Abraxos would be able to make the crossing. His wings were healed from the spider silk, and in theory, they were as ready as they would ever be. Manon's grandmother was not pleased with how long this was taking, and Abraxos growled at Manon's grandmother. Manon got Abraxos to focus and told him that they just needed to do this one time and they could shut them up forever. Abraxos let Manon into the saddle, and the Wyvern, the 13, and the Blue Buds pick up a beat, encouraging Abraxos and rooting him on into making the crossing. He ran and plummeted towards the ground, but he did it. They made it through and into the sky. Yay!
Yay!
Manon's grandmother is being as vicious as ever, slicing her throat.
I know, she
making
draws
it bleed.
blood.
She scratches her face. Like, I forgot what else she does, but this bitch is not playing around. She's like, I have high hopes for you, and you're fucking everything up because of you are suddenly developing a heart. Like, you don't have a heart, Manon.
Yeah.
You are heartless. And I just really don't think she is.
No, she's definitely not heartless.
No.
She loves Abraxos.
She does love him in her own weird Manon way.
Yeah. She has tough love, but she still loves him.
I love that Abraxos has just as much love for Manon when he literally growls at
The grandma.
the grandma. I was
Yup.
like, hells yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I hope Abraxos eats her.
But I just love when the Wyvern like start that beat. And I got like full body chills like when Astrid starts like hitting her shield and the 13 follows, and even Petra starts up a beat too, so that the rest of the Blue Bloods follow. And it's just like this big, I feel like, monumental moment of them coming together to cheer on Abraxos, like even the other Wyvern. And
the camaraderie.
She's like, this is for you. Like, this is all for you. And I just got like so much chills when he starts like running and then he makes it. And I'm just like, oh, obsessed. I would love to see that scene play out.
Know.
Like on a TV show or a movie with the beat.
I feel like all the Manon chapters are crazy.
Yeah.
At least in this. No, I feel like they're all crazy. Like, it's like the story playing out like you're watching, not like a soap opera, but, you know, like just like a show. And then all of a sudden you see this scene, you're like tuning in. Like, you're like, yeah, Manon's back on the screen almost. Like,
I told you she was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I really love those chapters with her in Abraxos.
Mm-hmm. Love it. So they made the crossing and fuck grandma.
Yeah. Yay, they made it through.
Yay.
I love your note. They made it through and into the sky. Yay.
Yay.
Perfect. All right, darling, are you ready for the last chapter of the episode?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Ooh, I'm ready.
Chapter 45. One morning, Rowan found Selena training alone, having slipped out early for the 4th day in a row. He had noticed her rapid improvement and grew suspicious. While watching her, he overheard sentries expressing awe at her power. He planned to tell Lorcan, the only Fae in Doranel who outranked him, about her abilities to potentially implement it into their training. Selena's flames were vibrant with golds, oranges, and reds, and despite a flame knocking her down, the sentries watched in silent awe as she stood back up and continued to practice. Nobody was laughing at her today. A week later, another corpse appeared, the same as the previous victims. In the Interium, Selena and Rowan had been training relentlessly with fire magic, their sessions only interrupted by the Fae nobility passing through. Selena, however, was in no rush to go to Doranel. They only trained her fire abilities. Despite trying, she couldn't summon her drop of water affinity. She felt her magic play with Rowan's during training. Rowan noticed her morning sessions, but didn't ease up on her, believing that showing any weakness would lead to her opponent taking advantage of her. Selena thought of Kale and was relieved her relationship with Rowan was platonic. Insert Megan eye roll. She knew that if they were romantically involved, she might have used him to forget Kale, but a hole in her heart for the former captain of the guard remained. The new corpse was rotting, but had a second familiar scent. Selena remembered it from the obsidian pool of blood beneath the library. She noticed the male had fought back, and when she scraped under his fingernails, she found the same black residue. She was baffled, but told Rowan about the library creature, the word keys, and the information Maeve was holding hostage about how to destroy them. She explained that the King of Adarlan was using the keys to create creatures and target people with magic in their blood to be their hosts. They concluded the creature had some cognitive ability if it was dumping the bodies. Rowan ordered her to burn the body and they went hunting. But they found nothing. Rowan pressed her for more details about the creature's strength and weaknesses. Selena, thinking of Kale a second time, told Rowan she had once tried to kill him. She asked if that meant he couldn't be her mate. After a moment of silence, Rowan said she had been in her human form for a decade and her instincts might have been repressed. He added that sometimes mates can be intimate before their bond snaps into place, but Selena declared it was useless to cling to the thought anyway. Rowan asked if she wanted to know the truth, but she told him not tonight. What's the truth, Megan? Tell us.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, don't tell me.
It's just so crazy that when you find out what is really going on and the things that I'm going to tell you, like about other things and all the things that I can tell you, I'm going to be like,
Megan's dying for that episode. I'm dying for that episode. I can't wait to know what you know. Just put your brain right here. You want mine? We'll switch.
I don't even think it happens in this book.
Wow. Way to damper the mood, Megan.
I don't even know what book it happens in. I don't even know if it's the next one.
Oh my God. Okay, well, we'll have to save it then.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Rowan finds out that she's training alone. He's like, she's improving very well lately. What the fuck's going on? Finds her training in the morning. Yes. I love that all the sentries, though, are so obsessed with her. They can't stop watching her. She even falls or gets knocked down by one of her flames that, like, backlashes at her. None of them say a word. They just, like, watch her as she's, like, so unbothered, just gets up and keeps going. It's crazy. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
We get another corpse body that has the same condition as the other victims, but this time Selena notices this scent.
Mm-hmm.
Before they go and figure out what's going on with that body, they're training a little bit more, and she's really focusing on her fire abilities. I think it's interesting here, though, that they talk about the water again. I'm like, what's up with this water? She's trying to summon it, but can't summon it. I'm like, And she says that she felt her magic playing with Rowan's. Sounds pretty compatible to me. But, we'll see. He is not easing up on her, though. Their training is still their training, no matter what. Selena is thinking of Kale, too. Two times in this chapter. Well, I know she's thought of them other times in this whole section, too. But specifically twice in this chapter. And she's like, I wish I could fuck Rowan and get Kale off my brain. But we're not. We're platonic. So, fuck. But whatever. Let's go see the rotting corpse. The scent is key to this corpse. She literally digs out the black obsidian out of this body's under their fingernails. And she's like, bingo, I know what the fuck this creature is. She kind of just tells Rowan everything about the word keys and all the information about that creature that she was stuck in the library with or battled in the library and everything, and how the King of Adarlan was now using these creatures to target people with magic. She's figuring out everything. And Rowan's like, you know what? Burn the body. Let's go look for more. But right now they don't find anything. It gives her a second to ask one very important question, Megan. Is Kale her mate?
No.
He is not her mate. She definitely would not have been able to almost kill him.
She was going to do it if Dorian didn't stop her.
I was going to say, it wasn't even her that stopped herself. It was Dorian. So
yeah.
She was going to kill him for sure.
Yeah.
So there definitely cannot be mates.
Yeah.
But I'm so curious to know this truth. I can't wait to find out. Why not tonight, Selena? You should have said yes. Tell me everything.
No, when you find out, it's fucking epic. So.
Oh, like chapter 54 epic?
Close.
Ooh, okay, I'll take the close. All right, so before we end this episode, let's talk about my great predictions that I'm proud of tonight.
Okay.
Number 1, the scene with Manon and the spider, I think is major in capital letters on my notes, foreshadowing that although the spider went flying off the cliff, it will return. And I think it will be as a human, and I think it will capture someone's beauty and be a major problem in our series, for Manon specifically.
Oh,
You like that one?
I like some parts of it.
Oh, don't tell me which parts. Okay, number 2. Karanom got me thinking. I think Selena will have a Karanom
Hmm.
and will either have to save or be saved by them.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking it's Dorian, but I don't know why I wrote that because I totally think it's Rowan. I think I don't know why. I definitely didn't mean Dorian. I guess it could be Dorian, but no.
I mean, in theory, it could be Dorian because they share the same line through Elena.
True, yeah. So they're definitely related or share a blood connection. But I don't know. I just feel like there's so much about Rowan and her relationship. Their magic plays together. I don't know. They're bonding. They're very compatible. I just feel like it's Rowan is her Karanom.
Interesting.
But if it's Dorian, cool. Maybe I subconsciously predicted that. Because I did not mean to write Dorian there.
That's so funny.
But that's all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms you are listening/watching on or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in. And come join our book club Discord. You can find the link in our bios on Insta and TikTok. And this month, we are reading Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. We love chatting with you guys, so don't be shy.
Don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week for part 5 of Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, covering chapters 46 through 57. Happy reading!